We have 3 cutting boards that we use pretty much every day, but still don't have a proper storage place for them. And we now want to put them onto this board here, like so. And therefore my mom wants me to use this wood. All it basically needs is some sort of tenon on the end here, so that I can glue these pieces into here, and then the cutting boards can just lay flat on top of them. Something like this. And the way I achieve this is with the PantoRouter. The template is extremely simple. It's just a washer with a couple other washers behind them to make it stick out a little bit. On these 2 small ones, I think I can get away with a 12mm tenon.
Clamping these pieces on the table was somewhat challenging, but not too difficult with 1 clamp and 2 stops.
This tenon also needs to be slightly angled, so I'm tilting the table roughly like so. And now I can adjust the height of the template holder until the bit is in the vertical center of my piece. Up here. And now to center the bit horizontally, I just eyeball this as well. And now at the point where the follower is at the moment, that's exactly where I need to put the template. So about here. Lastly, I set the plunge depth to 16mm because that's how long I want the tenons to be. Now I need to figure out which follower to use so that this will also cut a 12mm tenon. Therefore I can use the sheet with the formulas that I made a while back when I got the PantoRouter. And what I now need to know is the size of the follower, or the bearing. So I need to use this formula, which is 2 times the thickness of the tenon, 12mm, plus the size of the router bit, which is 3/8 inch or about 9.5mm, and minus the diameter of the template. And this washer has a diameter of 29.5mm. That tells me I need a follower that has a diameter of 13.5mm. And since I made conical followers in every size, that's now pretty simple to find. 11, 12, 13 and 14. So 13.5 should be about here. Except that I know through experience it's better to start with a follower a little bit bigger, because I can always switch to the smaller one and cut the tenon smaller. So I will first start with this, and if that makes a tenon that's too big, I can then switch to this one.
First I wanted to cut at full depth, but I noticed that the piece was ever so slightly moving. You probably can't see that in the video. So I did multiple small passes instead. Then the single clamp held it good enough.
This is a 12mm hole. Perfect fit. Nice. That's strange that that happens on the first try. Because all my workpieces are so extremely different, I have to do the setup process now for every individual one. But that's not too bad.
Making one piece took about 5 minutes.
For the other 4 pieces, it's basically the exact same procedure, except that I think I'll make 15mm tenons for these ones. A little tight. Bring this a little back. Should fix that.
That works because the followers are conical and so it moves around the template in a smaller circle, which the router of course copies and cuts a smaller tenon.
Next I need to figure out where to drill the holes into this board so that everything fits as it's supposed to. Now I can rotate the pieces until they fit as they are supposed to. Now it's not really straight on there because it's difficult to get it straight without making it rock. It's basically impossible here because these are so strange shapes. But I think it also doesn't really matter here. So I go with that. And making a mark so that I can find this exact position again when I glue it together. The next board is about here. Okay, this time I try to get it straight. And here on the wall simulation, which means clamped to my bandsaw cover, that looks really good.
And here the whole procedure again for the last board.
Well, gluing them in is not really spectacular. This will not get screwed to the wall. Instead, I'll put 2 screws in the cabinet above, which will just keep it in place. That's enough to hold it there. And I forgot which one is supposed to be left and right. I think this one is right. Like so. And so now we want to put them